Hi, Fashion Dolls. We're going to try this again one more time. It is Thankful Thursday, May 16th, and we're going to get into some girl talk. So hopefully it works this time. I had to uninstall and reinstall back, and I pray that it works this time so that we can get right into this girl talk. All right? So let me add my beautiful guest sometime. There we are.
You see me now?
Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Enemies everywhere. That's okay.
everywhere. Welcome back to the Dollhouse, girl.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
It is such a pleasure to see you. It's been a minute because we did our very first conversation, our interview in 2023, and a lot has happened since then. And before we get into our girl talking everything on your projects, because you got some projects that are coming out, Mother's Day, how was your Mother's Day, girl?
My Mother's Day was actually great this year. It was very chill. I was able to have all my family around, all of my siblings and my mom. It was sad not having my grandma there this year, but for the most part, I enjoyed myself. I was thankful for those that are still around me and who continue to be so supportive with my journey. So,
Yes, yes. And we saw the pictures with you and your daughter and your mom. It was beautiful. So
thank you.
amazing. The same thing. It was a day where women were pouring into each other. My mom, she went out of town with my brother's girlfriend and her mom, and then her mom's mom. So it was like a little girls' luncheon together where they ate dinner together and they were talking. So it was good. And then she went shopping afterwards, and I prepared her this big basket of things that I know that she likes. Like I'm big into self care, and I know she is too. So like bubble baths, soaps,
Okay.
face mask, all of these things that I know that she loved, and she loved it. My grandmother too. So it's a
Um,
pretty good mother. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yes. So let's get into this girl talk, Fashion Dolls. But before we get into that, we're talking texturism today because that is a thing that is going on in the Hollywood show business right now. And Shayna, I'm pretty sure you've seen the conversation surrounding Beyonce and people like, why she don't show her real hair? Why isn't she showing her hair? Why is she showing it now? And then when she showed her real hair, people are still
Still a problem.
disbelieving it. They don't believe that black women, we can grow long, healthy hair. And I want to have the conversation with another black woman to show you versatility in our hair textures because we do not stay the same, especially Shayna here. She always changes up her look.
I do.
And being an actress in this business, you have to change up your look. I had the same conversation, I'm pretty sure you caught it last week with Miss Showbiz.
Hmm.
Showbiz is a rap artist. And for female rap artists out here, they're expected, for women in this business, period, we're expected to be beautiful. Hair has to be on point. And I had Miss Showbiz laughing about it last week. I said, we can't even have a chipped tooth, nothing. Everything has to be in tip top shape. So that's why it took up a little bit longer because we're women. And guys can just walk out here and put on a t shirt and jeans and it'll be okay. But for us, it has to be hair, it has to be makeup, especially if you are a performing artist. I mean, I can only imagine what Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and all of the female rappers, Glorilla, all of them have to go through behind the scenes. And we see just a glimpse of them getting ready behind the scenes if they share it with us. Like
Hmm.
Beyonce showed her, she didn't have to. But again, it goes into texturism, which is what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into that, Shayna, you have some projects coming out, girl. So tell us about these projects that you have coming out.
Well, I do have Blur Ties, which is a web series that'll be coming out later this year. Right now, it's in the film festivals, and so far, we've won two awards, which I was definitely excited about. It's been a long journey with that one, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. But if they follow Blur Ties series page, I mean, you'll get to get a glimpse of all the behind the scenes and things like that, and definitely be able to check out our trailer soon. I'll actually be going to Canada at the end of the month to go accept an award on the behalf of the show. And yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm working on some things that I can't exactly mention just yet, but you definitely will see soon. So yeah, and just staying in the writer's room. Staying in the writer's room and just constantly creating. That's the biggest thing for me right now, is constantly being active with my creativity.
And that is important because we need representation. And I'm pretty sure you've seen Issa Rae. Issa Rae has been out here. She has been creating her own projects, putting them out here, saying, because you know her show ended on Showtime. And now people are saying, okay, she can't do it. Yes, she can do it. She proved you wrong. And she's out here producing more content, giving other Black writers and filmmakers an opportunity. And that is important
Agree.
to all of us, show that we are being represented in the writers' rooms as well too. Not just on the front screen, being the actors and the actors, but also stepping behind the lens as well too, and showcasing that. That is important in this business, which brings me to the next part of the conversation we're having today, which is texturism. Now, Shane, I want to ask you about your experience as an actress on set, because we kind of touched briefly on it in our first Girl Talk, but we are talking here, and we know that Black women, Maya Angelou said it best, a woman's hair is her crown and glory. So it's in the Bible, it states that. But with us, you're going to get versatility. Black women, we're not a monolith. So one day I'm going to have curly hair. The next day I'm going to have straight hair. The next day is going to be short. The next day is going to be long. You're going to get something different. If you are going to any business position, if you are an actress, they are going to want you to change up your look for whatever role, to fit that role. And I was looking here on a site called Tescarilla, and this article was published. It says, "Don't touch my hair. How hair bias has affected Black women in the workplace." And these numbers are very staggering to me. It says that 60% of Black women would change their hair for a job interview. That number baffles me, because the key thing is, why should we have to change our hair? Why should Black women have to change who we are? And who do we know that this has impacted? And I'm pretty sure you've heard the story of Gabrielle Union being let go from America's Got Talent because they said our hair is a distraction. Why is it that when Black people, the Black collective, or Black women mainly, we show up with a piece of us that represents us authentically, and we're being told it's a distraction? Natural hair is looked at as a distraction. And we have different curl textures, different curl patterns. 3A, you're going to have one girl that's going to have 4C hair. And that was the concern when Beyonce came out with her hair care line, was that, okay, it's not for everybody's hair texture. But I'm looking at it, and people are experimenting and doing their own different thing, working with different hair products to see what works for their hair textures. Because if you go on the market, or you go to Sally's Beauty Supply Store, or any place, you go in that one aisle, that's for the what is it? They call us multi-ethnic, or the African American aisle. You've got Cantu, you've got Cream of Nature, you got all of these brands in this aisle. And it's just like, oh my God, as a Black woman, where do I turn? And growing up, let's go back to the history of Black hair. Because, Shane, I'm pretty sure your mom has done it to you. What was it? You sit in the kitchen on Sunday morning, you get that Easter press, Y'all remember, it was that Blue Magic and that hot comb on the stove. And then we upgraded from that to what? PCJ. And not trying to knock that, because I'm a relaxed girl. Most of the time, y'all be believing that that's my real hair, but it's wigs, y'all. The secret is out. The secret is out, and it is wigs. And the way that I style them, you wouldn't believe. You would think it's my real hair growing from my head. Yes, it's my hair for a day, but I do that to protect the hair underneath. And y'all have given Beyonce so much backlash for wearing wigs, but you want to know why we do it in show business? Because Black women, our hair damages easily. If you are chemically treated, or if you are relaxed, you got to make sure that that hair is protected underneath, conditioned to the nines. And that is a thing in this business, even for Black men going into that. If you have different curl patterns and textures, they're going to want you to cut it. They're cutting the beards. We'll get to the men in a second, but for Black women, it's been harder on us because we are expected to live up to a certain expectation. And that is because of racism and sexism in this business. It also ties into misogynoir. And I talked about this with Miss Showbiz last week. Misogynoir is the discrimination of Black women, for those of you who do not know. And it is a term that has been coined by Moya Bailey in 2009. She started this. And what misogynoir means is, if you don't fit the mold or the standard of what beauty is, Eurocentric European beauty standards, meaning fair skin, light eyes, bone straight hair, that European look. Like, I give you an example, Giselle, who's married to Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen. If you don't fit that standard of what beauty looks like, Hollywood will tell you, no, you need to go and change this. And I was watching one actress, Aisha Hines. You guys remember her? She the show, what show was 911? She's on 911 with Angela Bassett. And she said, I cut all my hair off. I decided to cut it all off because I had to go and get the doobie wraps. If you're from New York, you know about the Dominican blowout. Sometimes those things can be damaging to your hair as well too. If not those keratin treatments. So we have to be careful what we are putting on our hair. But back to the history of black hair itself. Fast forward, you had the hot comb and you had that blue magic. Y'all remember that? Sit down, bend down, let me get the nape of your neck. Let me get the kitchen. Hated it. And I watched my sisters go through it. But you got PCJ. Then we had something just for me. I mean, I use just for me. I still relax my hair. I went from dark and lovely to now just for me. Dark and lovely for me, I mean, it's a good relaxer, but it's so strong. The only thing I can use from Dark and Lovely now is their colors and their maintenance line. But I had to stop using Dark and Lovely. Then I went to Soft and Beautiful. Y'all remember Soft and Beautiful? In that white and gold box. Y'all remember it? And then I went to Just For Me. And Just For Me is a little bit gentle. I can use Just For Me Emotions because my hair underneath is relaxed, believe it or not. And it's braided down. And Shauna, you know about the brain girl, the gel braids, girl. I'm telling you, if I was to take it off now, you would see the gel braids. And Sherry, who was it? It was Sherry Shepherd. She said, I'm not taking my wig off because she did take it off live on live television. But we see the gel braids. And that's the thing, we have to get braided down as a protective style. Back to Beyonce. The conversation surrounding Beyonce is not about her hair itself. It is about texturism. And texturism affects whom? African Americans as a collective. Not just us as women, but it affects black men as well too. The young man who's told that he had to cut his dreadlocks, and you guys seen that story everywhere. Thank God for the Crown Act, because the Crown Act has now enabled people to go and wear their hair however they want to in the workspace. Whereas back in the day, if you were on set, and I heard Kim Fields say this, she said, I wore wigs all the time as playing Regine Hunter on Living Single. Because I was not about to go ahead and the curling irons, the thermal irons, those can even be damaging to your hair if you do not have a thermal protectant spray. And that is key. Queen Latifah said, I stopped relaxing. I'm not about to lose my edges because we know for black women, that is a thing too. The edges got to be laid. Nothing can be shown. Lace, nothing. And I try to make sure that when I do my own hair, because I do my own hair, I'm responsible for hairstyling. Every look that you guys have seen me do, whether it's an updo, whether it's a blonde, it's a bob, I'm responsible for that. So God has given me a gift in my hands to be able to host this platform and do hair. And I've learned that black women, that is a thing. We like the edges to be laid. The ponytail has to be sleek. Mm-hmm. Nothing can be shown. It has to be perfect for your pictures, for your selfies, everything. And I've seen the sacrifices that we as black women go through to get a job position. Now, here's some more stats from this article that I found in Test Gorilla. It says that over 20% of black women have been sent home from their work because of their hair. This baffles me. This is alarming because why am I being sent home for my hair when my work ethic should show? You shouldn't care about my hair. I'm here to do my job at the end of the day. So why am I being fired or let go? And then the first percentage was 60% of women said, oh, I don't mind changing my hair for the workplace. And you want to know why? It's because 9 times out of 10, the person who is running the business is non-black. And they want us to put our hair, wear a braid, take the braids out, do all of these things. Do you know how long a braid job is for micro braids?
Long as time, Stevie.
Do y'all know how long it is for a braid job? Ask Brandy. Brandy was the queen. Brandy is the queen of braids. And watching Moesha, you would see her do different things with her hair. And she said, I don't want to be like the other girls. She said she kept the braids to keep that teenage image. And I was reading that in a magazine article on how she keeps her braids maintained and things. I have to see if I can find that. I should have bought it out today, but but I might be able to. Let me see. Let me see. Yes, let me see. You guys, because I keep a lot of hairstyle magazines. There we go. Y'all see Brandy with the braids. This was her Moesha era. And I was reading in here, and she keeps her braids wrapped like how we wrap our hair at night. You just got your hair relaxed, whatever style, silk press, you got to wrap that hair at night. Wrap it up in a bonnet. There's been a whole conversation about bonnets, and I'm going to touch on that as well, too. It's about respectability. No matter how much as black women we slim down, curl our hair, straighten it, lighten our skin. We do all of these things to mold in and fit in what society wants. They will still see us as black women. And there is colorism, there's misogynoir. But we are talking texturism, which affects not only black women, but the black collective. Derek, let me see. There aren't enough black hair. Exactly. And I just interviewed Derek. Derek is a pioneer in this business, and he's seen it all. And that is the thing. I asked Miss Showbiz that. I said, why aren't there enough hairstylists on set that understand ethnic hair? That is a problem. Working in the fashion industry, that is a thing for me too, because you got to learn makeup. If you don't have your makeup in the correct shade, what were we told back in the day? What was the thing? You had to blend your shade. You had to custom blend your shade. Because the makeup artist, if you didn't, you would come out ghostly looking.
Yep.
There wasn't enough shades for the brown girl back in the day. There was only that one go-to shade, and who was it? I think it was Coco from SWV, and you had that one shade of Fashion Fair lipstick and that red color. Shane, you know what I'm talking about, girl. And then that brown liner, the brown lip liner, which I'm doing today. I mean, it's still here. It's the thing, but these are beauty trends. But as far as our hair goes, there wasn't enough to protect the black hair back in the day. There wasn't stylists that understood the black hair. And there was Victoria Rao. You guys remember her from The Young and the Restless. She said she had to protest and make sure that they, you know, if you need me to do a demonstration on how to do a silk press, because she didn't wear a relaxer. As her character, Drusilla Winters, on The Young and the Restless, she had to bring somebody on set to do the hair of the African-American cast members. Did y'all know that? I was watching an interview with her because she talked about, you know, growing up in foster care and things. And as it pertains to having hairstylists on set to work with the stars that are ethnic, that are African American. They had to bring somebody on there. She had to fight for that. So it's 2024, and we still have an issue in the beauty world, and that is we are not seeing stylists on set, like Derek said in the comments, that are able to work with ethnic hair, that understand 4C hair, 4A texture, that understand 3A, 3B, because we have so many hair textures and densities. All of these things, you got coarse hair, you got fine hair, and you got medium hair. Everybody's hair texture is different. My sister had very coarse hair. Her hair was very thick. Mine's is fine. So even putting the most product on my hair, it will break it. So I have to be very careful with what I use on my hair. And even on my days off when I'm not taping or doing my interviews, my hair is braided down. You will see me with some sort of anything silk on the top of my head. And that's to protect that hair, because believe it or not, the sun can also damage your hair. That lighting, being up under the lighting on set, can damage your hair. Now you see why Kim Fields said as her character, Regine, on Living Single, she wore wigs all the time. They're a protective style, and that's why they're there. So cut Beyonce some slack, because her years in Destiny's Child, she wore her natural hair. Miss Tina did all the girls' hair, from Kelly to Michelle to Latavia to Latoya. She did all of their hair, and that was their real hair. So if you go back all the way in the 1800s, you go back to slavery era, you had black women who were growing long hair. And who was the first black woman self-made millionaire? You saw women out there picking cotton, and they had to wear the scarves and stuff on their head to prevent their hair from being damaged. She invented something that could help women with hair loss. That was Madam C.J. Walker. And now to this day, in 2024, we are seeing women have to say, okay, I got to protect the edges. I got to protect the hair underneath. It's protective styling. So when you go onto sets or you go see someone perform, it's not going to be their real hair. It's going to look like it's their real hair. But the thing is to protect our hair underneath. We don't want to damage what God has given us. We've worked so hard because Black women, we go to the beauty salons and we want that what? We want the Toni Braxton cut. Or we want the cut like Tiana Taylor or Halle Berry. You'll regret it once that hair hits the floor. Because my aunt did it. And then my cousin did it. Years later, she regretted it. She regretted it. She said, I want the cut. Remember Missy Elliott had the cut with the swoop over the eye. My cousin used to wear that cut all the time. And when she got to that hairdresser, she regretted it later because Black women, once you cut it off, it hits the floor, that's it. You can't put it back on. Be ready for it. If you're ready to rock that shortcut, be ready for it. But guess what? We have tricks. There's wigs and there's weaves. And that's where it comes in with protective styling. Because we want to save the hair that God has given us. Now, as it pertains to it in the workplace and the schools, because it's bad in the schools. Hey, brother, shout outs to my brother, K Tooks, host of the K Tooks Spot. We are having a conversation on texturism and hair. I'm seeing babies not being able to graduate because of their hair. Why isn't my niece or nephew able to walk across that stage? What, because of their braids or their dreads? They're not able to play football. They got to cut the dreads out. There are football players out here who have dreadlocks. As long as they're able to carry that football on that field, hit that goal, get that mark, and win for their team, that's all that should matter. Not the baby's hair. Why are y'all having them cut their hair? So me watching this video of this young man get his dreadlocks cut, I was very angry. I was enraged. I was like, ooh, that couldn't have been me. Because we have policies like that going on down here. When my sister was going to school, God rest her soul, I see a lot of girls, everybody wanted the Alicia Keys look where the hair was kind of braided in one pattern and it was all going to the side. When Alicia Keys first came out and they had the beads, my sister added blue to it. I'm going to try so hard not to put my school on blast. I love them, I love them, I love them. But girls couldn't wear color in their hair back in the day. That was the policy down here. And so my sister had to spend all her time taking all those braids out. I don't know how she managed to get it out, but she had to take all her braids out. Hey, Darkness. Hey, baby. We are talking texturism today, which is a conversation on hair. And the braiders, I feel bad for the braiders because it's just like their work has went down the drain. They have to take all this hair out.
Exactly.
Do y'all know how approximately long it takes for someone to get micro braids or box braids or the jumbo goddess braids? And if you're getting it braided up in a swoop style, you have to make sure that everything is pinned and secured so that hair doesn't come down. It's a lot of work. So again, we go back to the history of racism in our country and slavery as well too, because it ties into that. It's still here and it's alive and living in 2024. And Black women, the Black collective, we are under the umbrella of oppression. And it is a tight chokehold. We've been told for years, you need to erase that. If I want to come out with some Afro puffs, because I did wear a fro, I have to find that picture, I have so many looks. It shouldn't matter. My hair is a part of my Blackness. My hair is a part of what makes me a woman. And the same for Shayna. Why should my hair define who I am? It's just a part of me. You should look inside my talent and my heart, not my hair. Yes, the hair is beautiful, and I see you guys, oh my God, you go crazy every time I change it up. But the thing is, it's a part of my Blackness. is. It's a part of the culture. Black hair is the culture, from afros to cornrows. All of these styles that we invented. We're now seeing the other ethnicity of the other kind. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they are starting to reciprocate the same culture that we invented. And I told Miss Showbiz this. I said, black women, because they asked Queen Latifah this on the carpet, the Met Gala, asked her this question. These were her words. They asked her, why do you think black women are the culture? Because Queen Latifah responded, she said, we are the trendsetters, and that we are. Hair, beauty, we are. We are the inventors of the culture. And we see y'all trying to simulate cultural appropriation with the baby hair, swooping the baby hairs like ours, getting the braids, and y'all renamed it what? Boxer braids. No, that's cornrows, baby. All of these things, these are things that black women and the black culture we invented. Because if you go back to the slavery era, they would put rice in their hair as well too. When they were braiding the hair, they would put rice in the hair in the slavery era. So these are things that you can't erase or can't be duplicated, because we are the culture and we matter. And black women, we are the trendsetters. Because I even heard Rihanna say this. I'm going through all the list of the women who said things about their hair. Rihanna said this, I get bored. And I'm pretty sure a lot of black women do. One day I want to have straight hair. The next day I want to have curly hair. And let me see. Hey, Kenyon. Kenyon, that was another thing when I did my interview with him. And he's a man, he said, this is what he said, Shane. He said, what hair is she going to give me today? And I came in with platinum blonde hair. I mean, that hair was pearl blonde. And I was scared because I'm just like, with my skin tone, I'm just like, Lord, please, Jesus, let this work. Let this work. And luckily, you guys liked it. And I thank y'all for loving it, because I've had every shade. Yes, I've had every shade of blonde. And y'all were just like, oh my gosh, she's giving Storm from X-Men, and I love it. That's what I was going for. And I had the eye jewels. So today is just toned down. I wanted to go back to my classic black hair. I wanted to do something very classy, very elegant. And let me see what Darkness says. Well, we've all seen you. Girl, you're gorgeous. Who wouldn't want to emulate such a gorgeous lady? Thank you. You look good as a blonde. Well, blondes, Eugene said, do blondes have more fun? And I flipped my hair. I said, do they? Because I was blonde that day. They do. And you know who made me start it rocking the blonde? It was T-Boz from TLC. When I seen her with the cut, I said, I want this cut. I want this color. And then I seen Mary J. Blige do. And my aunt is a big Mary J. Blige fan. So Mary said, I'm not going to give you blonde one day. I'm going to give you, like, when she released her boobs, she gave you red hair. And she did that during the My Life era. So you see the color change. And for me, I said, I can't be stagnant. In order to have longevity, and I was talking to Derek about this as well too last week. I said, in order to have longevity, you have to be willing to change things in your career. And I'm going to let Shayna give her point as a standpoint as an actress, because I've given my standpoint as the host of this platform. And what is expected for black women is that we have to show up. Hair has to be on point. Not even an eyelash can be out of place. A tooth can't be missing. You're going on stage and you're performing, the audience will catch on to it. And it puts a lot more pressure on us. Because why do you think that a lot of these female artists have glam squads? I mean, and we see it behind the scenes with them working with the hair and makeup. Who was it? It was Gabrielle Union. And Gabrielle Union gives us a glimpse of Larry Sims, who's done her hair. He's did Zendaya's hair. Janet Jackson's birthday is today, so he's worked on Janet. He's worked on so many of Hollywood's most beautiful women. And that's because it takes a village to keep us together. And Shayna knows this as an actress, because you have people working on you on set, hair, makeup. So my male guests that come on the show, they're just like, if you need additional extra time, they get it, they understand. Because they have sisters, they have mothers. We can't just come out looking all willy-nilly, because you will have all of these bloggers, influencers, everybody out there. Oh my God, Shayna came out looking like this, or Miss Stevie came out looking like this. That's why I try to make sure every interview you get a different woman. You can't say I didn't look my best. That's the same thing I said with showbiz. You cannot say Miss Stevie didn't put effort into that look. And I told King, and I said, King, and I did this look for you because I wore that leather dress. And Shayna, when I tell you, girl, my waist was cinched. It was sitting up. I was sitting up. Everything was looking good. I said, King, and I did this for you. This beauty takes pain, and as women in this business, we understand it. Whether it's getting the hair braided, all of these things, it takes a village. Let me read some of you guys' comments. Yes, we loved it. You look good as a blonde, and I appreciate y'all. I'm glad y'all liked it. And I said, you know what? Today, just like the Civil Rights Act, the Crown Act is just words on paper. These fools still gonna keep bigoting, throwing. Listen. And they're repealing the bills. They're pushing bills back to delay all of these things. We need the Crown Act, because if you go into Congress, if you go into the Supreme Court, Ayanna Pressley, because she used to wear wigs, took it off and said, hey, this is me. And she looks beautiful. Beautiful. And then another one, she hosts the show on MSNBC, Simone Sanders. She said, I just can't do a wig. This is me. And it's like, why you do the lashes? Why you do that? Why is it that Black women, we do something and it's too much, it's too extra? Black women, we are extra. We're not a monolith. We're going to give you something. And to the men that are out here that say, why she got to do all this? Women, y'all out here buying the eyelashes and wearing the nails. I wear my lashes and my nails because I like it, and it feels good.
And it does.
And it's what part of what makes me, you guys call me a diva, right? That's the part of what makes me and Shayna divas. We're divas here on this platform, honey. And that's the best part of what makes us a diva. It's the best part of what makes us a woman. It's called versatility. We're not gonna stay the same. Black women, we change. Hair colors, I can guarantee you the fall months, the colors are going to get darker. Right now, I'm giving you guys light colors. You've gotten blonde, different shades of blonde, so many different levels of it. But today I gave y'all black. Who's to say what look I'm going to have tomorrow? It's probably going to be a bob cut. It's probably going to be a messy, curly texture. Who knows? But Shayna, what do you think as an actress? Because we're both Black women, and these are things that we've endured and experienced in this industry for years of being told, no, you need to tone your hair down. Maybe if you could just do this or do this, maybe I could give you the role. So we're going to get the actress standpoint. So Shayna, what's your take?
Well, even when it comes to just submitting alone, I'll compare how many auditions I get with my headshots with straight hair and my headshots with curly hair. And definitely the straight hair always does better. That's even just experiencing people in person, like when the hair is straight, like, oh my God, your hair looks so nice. That really suits you. And then when it's curly, it's like, hey girl, but it's never like a compliment to the hair, which is very frustrating because I believe that curls just look so beautiful. Curls are actually my favorite. I mean, the straight hair looks good too, but I was like, why is that the only time that a compliment is received? I was like, why is that the time that I receive more auditions? Because even when I turn in my self-tape, I got curly hair. Like, I'm not going to go straight in my hair just for, the audition. But if they need it for set, all right, I'm going to do it for set. But it becomes exhausting. And honestly, at some point, when you're acting long enough, you don't care about certain things anymore. You don't care about what anybody else thinks. You're just like, I feel like I look good. This looks good to me. And you're always going to find somebody who has a problem. There's always going to be somebody who thinks that when you wear your natural hair, it doesn't look good. She should wear weave. When you wear a weave, it's a problem. She should be wearing her natural hair. You can never win everybody's, good, positive opinion. opinion of you. So at the end of the day, I just go with, okay, what feels best to Shanna? And if it's a must that they have something specific, then, they got to provide that. And wigs, that's been the easiest thing because it takes a lot of time to straighten hair. It takes a lot to keep it that way, especially in South Florida. We got humidity. As soon as you're done straightening it, you know.
Girl, hit that water. Hit that water. If you're a black woman, hit the water. And or if you are a guy and you have hair, we want you to get a taste of our medicine and what we go through. We just got our hair pressed. Hit that humidity or hit that water with that chlorophene in it, and you get a taste of what we go through. So when black women say, "Don't get my hair wet, don't touch my hair, don't do this," you'll see why. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just overall, it's exhausting. The hair thing is exhausting. If I have to do too much, then I'm just like, all right, I don't feel like doing it. I'm a simple person, and sometimes, it doesn't take too much. I don't see anything wrong with wearing a wig to change up your looks. I stopped doing braids because it was so much. It was so
The
much.
tension.
It
The
was a
tension is a
full
lot.
day.
I don't know how
Then you
brands
got
did it.
days, headaches. You got pus buildup on your scalp. Just keeping it clean, just the maintenance. Then when you got to take it out, and usually I end up cutting my hair because I'm like, this, we're just gonna snip up here, and we're just gonna take these braids out. It's exhausting. It really is. So I think that if we didn't have things like wigs and clip-ins and things like that, I was like, I don't know what we would do. I don't know what we would do, to be honest. But I have no issue with it. I don't really care what people think as far as those things. I'm just gonna rock it. If I feel like I look good, I look good, and that's it.
Even more in this article, it says that Michelle Obama, even during her time in the White House, she reported straightening her hair during that time. I did not wear braids, and I thought about it, but I thought, no, they're not ready. The world needs to be ready for this. And when she revealed her natural hair texture was on the cover of Essence magazine. Y'all remember that cover? She had on the suit, and this is around the time she was releasing her book. And she wore her curl texture. But you know who's done her hair for years? He does Tamron Hall's hair, Johnny Wright. Johnny Wright never misses. He's worked on some of the world's most beautiful women. Tamron Hall, that pixie. Tamron's hair, that pixie looks good.
Good.
Every time you see Tamron, she have a different version of the pixie because Johnny Wright doesn't. Johnny Wright has worked on Michelle Obama's hair. For her hair, because Michelle Obama, she didn't wear a relaxer. She always got it silk pressed. So every time you see her, that hair would be laid. Every press conference, press meeting, she looked good because of Johnny Wright. But that's because of the pressures of the other. If you know, you know.
Even your own people. Even your own people.
Oh, that's not her real hair. That's she got to be wearing a weave. And you got to do a Kenya Moore because Kenya Moore has had to do it on several occasions. Literally take a comb and part through her hair to show you it's all minds. People still do not believe that black women, we can grow different hair lengths, different hair textures. I mean, I had to put proof when I posted about it because I was very upset about it in my stories and how people were coming at Beyonce like, she can't grow a real hair, she can't do this. You can grow healthy, long hair if you take care of it. And like Darkness said in the comments, as far as braids are expensive. If you go to African hair braiding and anywhere, it's expensive and it's time consuming, especially micro braids. Do y'all know how the length of getting a braid job is? And then you got to make sure that the edges is protected as well too. You got to make sure that the braids don't get frazzled because I have braids. That thing took 4 hours. My mom braided my hair. And I had them all the way down to my back. I regretted it years later. Gotta find some pictures to post at the end of this girl talk so that y'all can see because I've had it all. I've had braids. I've had a mohawk, shaped sides. I did all of that. But I said, you know what? Going into the years later, I want to experiment with different color, different texture, because that 613 blonde, when I first started, that was my go-to. But I said, you got to be more than just this. Change it up. The one color that I really, really did not want was red. I didn't want red. I just wanted blonde. My girlfriend's hair is almost at her hair. She's a beautiful black woman. Her hair has been long since we were 13. And she's now 44. You said darkness, and people, yeah, people are crazy because they do not believe that black women can grow long hair. And I'm saying, I've went back and I've looked at pictures of women in the 1800s, black women, and there was one woman, and she had her hair all the way down to her back. It was beautiful. It was a black and white photo, and I said, women were growing their hair long. It's years. It's been here in history. So go back and trace back to your ancestors and your great grandmothers, great grandfathers. They'll tell you about the history of during the slavery era and black hair, because we have to start at our roots. No pun intended, because everybody's thinking of hair, but start back at your roots, the main key source. You'll learn everything there, because there is a history behind black hair. I mean, we don't evolved from so many different eras. Y'all remember the Jerry curl? Then we had what? The Afro. We had so many things. Black hair is the culture. Where did they do? Where? Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people, mainly hairstylists, say, "Well, ooh, I still don't believe it. The woman showed you her real hair. There were no tracks. I know what a track looks like. There were no tracks there." So I'm just like, what do black women have to do to prove to you that we can grow long, healthy hair? That black woman can't grow long hair. Who started the? Yeah, they can't. That black woman can't start. That they cannot grow long hair, and I think it's. You were saying, I'm sorry, she.
No, I'm saying you got nothing to prove. Honestly, you have nothing to prove to anybody. Who cares, real or not? What does it matter? It's your head. Worry about your own.
And if it's not real, I paid for it. So today I paid for this hair. Y'all gonna say it's not my hair? It's still my hair. I paid for it. It's on my head. Because tomorrow I'm not gonna have black hair. I can guarantee y'all that. I'm not gonna have black hair. I shocked y'all when I did the green hair season 17. Y'all was not expecting that. Yes, I paid for it. It's mine. I paid good money for it, and wigs are not cheap. Sensational, Outre, Bobby Boss, they're making a lot of coin from black women because we are the biggest investors of their wigs. I can go through my closet right now and let y'all know how many sensational butter lace I got right now. There's so many. My mom just like, you always buying wigs. I'm like, for women, we have to have versatility, and my mom gets it. Because my mom, the previous look she had, it was like wavy, and then she had brown highlights. So this time she had is like a red. It's like a fiery red. So she changes up. My mom understands it. What style you gonna have tomorrow? You guys have to tune in and see it. It could be medium length. It could be curly. My hair is curly. The hair I'm wearing today is curly, but it could be bone straight like Naomi Campbell tomorrow. And that's the thing. European, Eurocentric beauty standards. They expect us to have bone straight hair. Now I'm gonna go back to this article. You're so mean. Okay, darkness, I'll give you a hint. It will probably more than likely be a wavy texture. It'll probably be a wavy texture tomorrow because I like to switch it up. Variation, because it's all about versatility. And if your hair is relaxed and you wear wigs, that is the best feeling because you're always able to switch it up. Now, I was also glimpsing through this article. Another highlight that I found was Ruby Williams, a student of Urswick School in East London, was repeatedly sent home to school because of her afro. Afros are black culture. And I'm going to take you back to the 70s, the Black Panther Party. Angela Davis. That's what I think about when I see the afro. That afro pick. Y'all remember the afro pick that's got the fists on it? Everybody, if you black, you know about that afro pick. You had to pick the fro. You had to make sure that it was in shape. All of that. Afros are a part of black culture. Why is my daughter or my son or whomever being sent home because of their afro. And I'm going to tell you why. The education system is not ready for black aesthetic, black culture, black anything, which is why they are trying to erase our history out of the schools. If you go to Florida, look at Florida, they're trying to take away and do away with this course. They don't want you to learn about blackness, critical race theory. They don't want you to learn about racism, the Civil War, how it begun, all of these things. They don't want you. Me Too Darkness. And I hate it because you can't erase that. It happened. Black people, we're going to remember that for another 400 years. That's going to stick with us. You cannot erase that. So it makes me upset when you try to just do away from it. And they're even trying to do away with ethnic division training as well, too. Who do we know that's trying to do away with that? That is Elon Musk on X. That's why he didn't want to have the conversation with Don Lemon, because he's not interested in having the conversation with Don Lemon. They're not interested in learning ethnic training and how to work with people who are African American. They don't want to learn about our culture. They try to whitewash it and erase it. And the thing is, we're going to have to keep fighting. I mean, you're banning books that are on black history. Ruby Bridges, y'all, they banned her book. And it's just like, how are my daughters, or how is my niece or whomever supposed to learn about their hair texture? Because there are books out here that teach young black and brown boys and girls to embrace their curl patterns, to embrace their textures, to embrace their hair, to embrace their brown skin. And you want to ban those books. I hope those school districts get the pantsuit off of them. Yes, and who are you to go put your hands on somebody's child and cut their hair? Because the parent didn't tell you to do this. That right there would cause the parents to go out to the school and show out. And it's justified and it's rightfully so. Because you don't go put your hands on nobody's child without the parents' permission to do anything. Now, you can talk to them. That's fine. But when you cut my child's hair, that's a problem.
Big time.
And like Darkness said, that yeah, you will be getting sued. We have a lot of unlearning and unpacking to do as it pertains. Our own community, it goes back to what Shana said in the beginning of the interview, our own community. Y'all discriminate against your own kind because of their hair texture. It's not pretty. There's been a conversation about what's good hair, what's bad hair. I think that to end that, all of that conversation, to end all of that jazz, I think that healthy hair is good hair. How about that? Healthy hair. If you take care of your hair, you shampoo it, you condition it, you treat your hair, you love on your hair. Because everybody has hair care rituals, believe it or not. I know for me, when my days are off, I share my wash days to my story. Now, you won't see a picture of me because my hair is about this. I say this thick. It ain't got there yet. But I say we got this far. We still got a little bit more growth to go. So, no, you ain't going to see me show that. It's not like Beyonce's. But it's getting there. It's getting there. But I share my wash days to my stories, and you guys watch and interact. Like, what does she use on her hair? A little bit of what I use on my hair, I use Taraji P. Henson's products. Her products are pretty good. What else do I use? I'm looking over there at my table now. I use Kim Kimbo's products as well too. I use Paul Mitchell, a little bit of everything. But even on those days off, it's about taking care of your hair, taking care of your well-being, taking care of your health. Because also your health is also a reflection. It shows all over. Hair and skin. It shows all over. You got, if you drink a lot of water, if you eat a lot of this or that, it's going to show up on you. And it's also going to affect your hair growth as well too. So that's important. But back to the key conversation we're having here. Those are just tips to maintain healthy hair. Black blackness as it pertains to hair. Our own people, we have a lot of unlearning to do, because just as you try to oppress somebody else and say, well, they need to do this to their hair, or they not growing their real hair, you're black and you are going to experience oppression too.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to unlearn what has been taught to you. Because the same way that you are oppressing somebody else who's black about their hair is the same way that the other kind is oppressing us as well too. It starts within the black collective, and we have a lot to fix. And another thing, fellas, don't get mad at me for saying this. Stop policing black women on how our beauty should look. If we're not light enough, if we're not dark enough, if we're not, quote unquote, as Lil Wayne and 50 Cent said in that interview, exotic looking. Because black women, we are exotic. We have different shades of melanin. We have different hair textures, different eye shapes. I have almond shaped eyes. My mom has brown eyes. I have brown eyes. I have high cheekbones. I have a big nose, full lips. Those are black features. And that is featureism. Our black is beautiful. You're looking at two beautiful black women here on this screen. We don't all look the same, because you know how they say Asian people look all the same. It's just like, no. And y'all was put, what was funny was, I mean, it was funny, but no, these women are not the same. Y'all were trying to say Gayle King and Robert Roberts looked alike. No, two different people, two different women. Black women, we are not a monolith. We look completely different. Different walks of life. Different everything. But yes, stop policing black women on what the beauty standards are when we already have to go out in the world and the weight of the world is already on our back. And we have to worry about the scrutiny, the tyranny, and the trauma that comes along with being told that we're not pretty enough. Your hair is not straight. You need to go and change this. You're too dark. You're not what we're looking for. Go back. We're going to cast this lady over here because she's lighter skinned. And that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
All black women are beautiful queens. Proud black woman here. The luxury of being a black woman is that we walk in our beauty unapologetic. We own it. Any room we walk into, we own that room. You know that it's a black woman there, and it goes back to Africa. If you go to Africa, the women in Africa had a certain shape. They had a certain look. And it's because they were confident and they appreciated. They appreciated their beautiful brown skin. They appreciated their afro texture hair. The hair that y'all call nappy. And that has a connection to slavery as well, too. Did y'all know that? Because when you say nappy, it goes back to the slavery era of them comparing slaves' hair to a bale of cotton. Did y'all know that? Go all the way back to slavery. That's a part of what makes being black so beautiful. The diversity within our own people is incredible. And it's an array of shades of melanin. One light, one dark. You're going to see some chocolate. You're going to see some brown. When God created this world, he said, I want everybody to look different. I don't want if we all look the same, it would be boring. I don't want to look like Cameron. I don't want to look like Sherry. I don't want to look like Jennifer or my brother K-Tooks. I want to have my own distinct look. And I give credit to my mom because we both look alike. But the beauty that you guys see here today, it comes from her. It starts with her. Of the embracing of the hair texture, embracing of the skin complexion. Because there was one point in time I wanted to bleach my skin. I didn't feel that I was told I was beautiful. I was ugly. And then years later, as you develop and you change and you find out who you are, people start seeing it just like, oh my God, you're beautiful. That's because I had to build up my self-confidence, because for years, for so long, I've been told that I was a monkey, that I was ugly, all of those things. Colorism. And that falls on the scale of white supremacy and slavery as well too, because they divided us up. If you go all the way back to slavery, it was what? And Shane, I'm pretty sure you heard it. Lighter skin in the house, darker skin in the fields. So women who looked like myself and Shayna, we were told we had to be in the fields. Whereas if you're lighter skin, you get closer to massa, all of those things. So we have a lot of anti-blackness that we have to unlearn. So when I hear a certain singer, that's y'all's fave, say he only wants darkies in his section, y'all know who I'm talking about. And he says that he only sleeps with bad bitches with the good hair. And that's y'all's fave. Got it. Say less. It's even in the music videos, and Shayna working in the entertainment business for you as an actress, because I'm pretty sure you've seen other artists, other performers bring on video vixens or half female backup dancers. What do those female backup dancers typically look like, or video vixens typically look like? They're of a
Not black.
racially ambiguous looking, non-black, or they look like a Vita Guerrera. Vita Guerrera was one. They look like a Jennifer Lopez type, Latina or Latinx. That's what they look at as exotic. But you know who changed that mold, and she was a video vixen. And I saw her, and I think one of Nelly's videos, it was Buffy the Body. And then I seen her again, ATL. I said, here's a girl who looks like me. Hey, Shay. I'm reading you guys' comments. I'm so engaged in the conversation. Two Real Queens, LLC says, for Shayna J, what is the most challenging thing that you had to deal with? Yeah, what is the most challenging thing, Shayna?
Deal with as far as what, Lovely? As far as hair, as far as skin color, as far as what?
I love you too, Darkness. And I appreciate you for showing in. Men, y'all are engaging in the conversation. I appreciate y'all, fellas.
With acting, I would say knowing that I'm good enough for something, but not receiving it because of, I know for a fact, appearance reasons. And they're not going to tell you. But more often than not, you will see what is considered the prettier woman who's not as great as an actor receive the role because they feel like, oh, more people are going to tune in, more people are going to watch it, more popular, more followers, more this, more that, more lighter skinned, maybe had their body done, so they got everything going on the way exactly how they want it. So I think the hardest thing is just being natural, like naturally me, my body, nothing changed, nothing surgical, nothing whatever. I just show up as my authentic self. And but it's a good thing that I know that that is good enough. And it won't be good enough for everybody, but it's good enough for me. And yeah, to answer your question about the series, it was important to have Black women represented, especially ones that aren't typically represented, which is more specifically why I loved bringing on Bria Joy, because she was a darker toned female with a pixie cut. And I know she wasn't the standard of what they would see as like a main lady, but I was like, I want that. Me being on the plus size, I may not be the standard of the main lady, but we are in that series. And we're giving that to you because we know that's not the normal. So yeah, I definitely wanted to help represent other Black women that aren't seen as the typical beauty standard, for sure.
And you guys, if you look at the screen here, you see we are both chocolate. We're women of color. We're Black women. And we've been told that, no, this is not what we're looking for. And another thing is, when you said body image, plus size, it often goes to show that Black bodies of Black women have been hypersexualized because they expect you. If you take it all the way back to Pam Grier was a very voluptuous woman. they typecast you for a certain role because you have a certain body type. And it's just like, why can't I get the role for my talent? And then you hiring this actress that barely has any talent, that fits the quote unquote mold. She looks like this. And that's what you consider exotic. Whereas if you have a woman who has the skill, done the work, has the experience in the industry, you go and you hire somebody that fits your mold of what beauty is supposed to look like. But I'm so glad that Black women like yourself, Shayna, and Issa Rae are showcasing Black women in all facets, all walks of life, any shade, every body type, everything. Because again, it goes back to what I said: Black people, Black women, we are not a monolith. We're not. We don't all look the same. We have different body types. We have different hair textures, different eye colors, and that's important. Because when I turn on the television or I'm scrolling down the gram, I want to see people who look like me. I don't want to see lighter skin, light eyes, bone straight hair. And they oftentimes don't look at brown skin as pretty. What's beautiful is light eyes, light skin. And that's acceptable. That's what is acceptable in society. That's what people see. Y'all both are gorgeous combo of beautiful and gorgeous. Thank you, Shay. And it's the struggles of what we as Black women have to go through in this business. Being told you're not good enough. You're too dramatic. You need to tone it down. You're doing too much. But I show up as my authentic self, and I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you everything in this part or this role, and now I have to tone it down. But you didn't say anything to the other actress. Why am I being singled out all of a sudden? And that happens on set. You're being pointed out or not seen for roles. Because this is what they view dark skin as. They view dark skin as aggressive, as angry, as dangerous. Oh, she's volatile. Don't ever work with her. Whereas if it's someone who is of a lighter hue, and that's not to go against all my light-skinned sisters out here, but it's some, they look at it as, oh, they're not a threat. They're good. They fit the mold of exotic. But why is she angry or aggressive or violent or volatile? What makes her that way? It's because she's a darker hue. And what does that tie into, ladies and gentlemen, class? Education, learning experience of the day. Misogyny. And it happens to mostly darker skinned women. Let's go down the list here. Serena Williams, Michelle Obama, Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion said this in one of her interviews, and I love Meg. I think she's very talented. She's tall, she's curvaceous, and she's a dark-skinned Black woman. All of those, all with nothing, she's a threat. Misogyny is dangerous to Black women. It's another form of misogyny, but it's hypersexualized. It's sexism, racism, all on the form of white supremacy. Y'all see that? Because you didn't look at the lighter skinned sisters as violent or angry. If they do something, they get a pass. It's okay. But me, I'm looked at as dangerous. I'm a threat. I'm 5'7", 200 pounds, and curvy. I walk into the room, you're gonna know my presence is there because I'm tall. I'm standing right there. But you're gonna look at me, or if I yell, or if I raise my voice or something, or I'm speaking in a tone like this, you look at me as violent. And that causes harm to Black women. Let me read that comment right here from Real Random Stuff. Nothing is going to change until Black people start owning the entities that make those decisions. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's also colorism in the prison system as well, too. How they divide people up. It makes you think about slavery because they divided us all up as well, too. They put us in groups. And now here it is, 2024. We are still here, and we are categorizing people by skin tone. And this ties into texturism as well too, because lighter skin, good hair, bone straight hair, light eyes, good currency. You can get the cover of a magazine. You can get the cover of this. You can get the cover of this. As a black actress with a makeup artist, that aren't trained, how do you feel? How do you deal with that if they can't actually do the makeup properly? Shayna?
I always wear my own makeup. It doesn't matter if it's a huge set or if it's a small set. And it came in handy one time when I did this local commercial because the foundation was like 2-3 shades lighter than my skin tone. And I already told her, I was like, I know my color, Carrie Ann, I know my color in MAC. And I was like, that's not it. I was like, that's a few shades too light. So luckily I had my own makeup on me. I went in the car and I touched myself up. It's very rare that you will find people that know what to do. I've been blessed to have non-black makeup artists who knew how to mix the colors and get my skin tone right. And I was so excited because I was like, man, you really take the time to learn the craft and understand everybody's skin tone. And as a makeup artist, you should. But if not, I always come prepared with my little pack because you never know.
And to add on to what Shayna just said, if you go back during the fashion shows, the runway shows, it was Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell said that she literally had to go. And Shayna, you know, ladies, y'all know in the comments, y'all know about that pink fashion fair. Back in the day, it was fashion fair. She said she had to go because her mom also modeled as well, too. She had to go and literally get her mom's fashion fair because doing fashion shows in Paris, backstage is chaotic. You know, every model is for their own. She had to blend her own makeup shades. Models of color, Tyra Banks has talked about it too, how models of color backstage had to blend their own makeup shades because the makeup artist is typically a non-black makeup artist and they don't know how to work on our hues. Our hues are so dynamic. You're going to have one girl that's going to have more gold undertone and warm undertone than the other. And now, fast forward years later, our girl Riri, Rihanna, thank God, gave us 50 foundation shades in every single hue. Every single hue. She covered it. From the lightest of the light to the darkest of the dark to the palest of the pale. She's covered that. And you're going to have one girl that's going to have an olive undertone. I have more gold undertones than anything. So I have to make sure that I'm correcting because my neck can't be one color. And then, okay, the rest of my body is one color. And then up here, I got one color going on. I'm not trying to look like a Napolitan box of ice cream. Literally. I want to be blended all over. For us chocolate girls, it's difficult because you gotta, and another thing is for black women, women of color, we have to find that lighting. And I was telling my mom that too. When you are applying makeup, concealer, or whatever, make sure you get your correct shade. Make sure you get your correct foundation shade as well too. Correct concealer, correct foundation shade.
Agreed.
Make sure that you get it. But I'm so glad that now people are starting to see the call to action. It was a model and she posted something on TikTok. They didn't know how to do her hair and she literally broke down in tears. Didn't have the correct foundation shade. Didn't have the correct hair products to use on her hair. That is a problem. Why is this still happening? You hire me for a job, but you see that I'm different from the rest of the cast. So you should automatically know right then and there, but sometimes they don't know. And it's our job to teach them and walk them through it on African American hair and understanding our skin tones. Because we don't look like the other actors that you hired. They're good. They're straight up good on their stuff. But as you can see, I'm a little bit different than the other actors. I'm not going to be walking around with the first shade that's there, that's the palest shade. No. For the brown girl, you have to make sure that you really blend it in. And that's the thing. Now, I've seen the clip. I haven't really touched on it. But Shayna, I'm pretty sure you've seen it too. The conversation around a beauty brand that created a foundation shade that was so dark. And it's just like, is that...
Yes.
And then one song Somebody put that shade on their face. It was a non-black person. Black face. Let me touch on that. I think it is very, very offensive that you would rather poke fun at us because, again, it goes back to black features, black aesthetic, our melanin, our lips, all of these things. They would make fun of it. It is offensive. It is absolutely, and it is deeply rooted in racism. Deeply rooted in racism. As it pertains to skin color, this is how you view dark skinned people. You view them as aggressively. And it even starts in the school systems too. There was a video on CNN where they were literally teaching these babies, having them point out like the colors right there of brown. And they were saying, which one do you think is a threat? These babies already knew. They pointed to the brown shade, the darkest brown shade on there. I was like, that's sad that these babies already know this. We have to teach our black and brown boys and girls to love and embrace their beautiful brown skin. We have to. And the point of that is, it starts within. It starts with self-love. Because children learn instantly. If you tell them not to touch the stove, what they're gonna do? They're gonna touch that stove. Unless you don't tell them. You tell them, don't touch the stove. They do what they want to do. But you have to reassure them. And that's where the educating at home, I think a lot of parents, black parents predominantly, we have to start teaching our babies at home. So if they go into schools and stuff like that, because they're already trying to strip us of our history. They're trying to erase black history, black culture, anything, do away with out of the schools, banning books, all of this stuff. And it's just like black history is going to be here. We're not going anywhere. You can't erase us. You can't erase what happened 400 years of what happened. You can't erase that. And it's important that we teach our kids to embrace their hair textures as well too. Now, I know a lot of y'all looking at me like, okay, she's relaxed. A lot of women are going natural. Okay, here's the thing. Let me tell you a little story about how I started relaxing my hair. I started relaxing my hair in my teen years. And now me being 30 years old, I still relax my hair. But I make sure that my hair underneath is taken care of. So everybody has an option to be either relaxed or not relaxed. Now, relaxers, I'm seeing the reports out here that women are saying we're not going to do no more relaxers. It's being linked to cervical cancer. All of these things. It's scary. So it's just like, is this the price of beauty that I'm paying to look good? That's a mighty dangerous price, and I don't ever want to take that. That's what some women are saying. But for me, I still relax my hair. It's about versatility. I'm always on the go. I'm always doing things. So for me, it's convenient, and it's about versatility. But there are some women who are just like, I choose not to relax. My mom is natural, strictly natural. And natural hair takes a lot of work. And even on set, for the stylists out here, you have to understand that as well, too. I'm not going to be like Miss Karen and Miss Becky over here. No. You're working with a whole different hair texture, a whole different everything. So it goes back to what Victoria Rouse said, which is I had to go and basically defend and stand up for the other black actors to get somebody on set who knew how to do our hair. And it is a conversation, and it is a problem. It is a problem that you still haven't understood it yet, that there's different hair texture. There's different hair lengths. Everybody's hair texture is not going to be the same. Now, for the fellas out here, for men, you just got to worry about cutting the beard. You got to worry about making sure that everything is okay. If they want to age you for a role, you can do that. But for women, for us, it's even harder. It's hard because we're being told that, no, this is not what we want you to do. You got to do this for this role. And I'm just like, we're willing to, like Sheena said in the beginning, we're willing to be submissive. We're willing to do it. Okay, do it for the role. But then when I go home, I'm going back to my regular stuff. I'm doing this for this role, but when I go back home, I'm going to style my hair however I want to. You don't have the power to control that. And that's another thing. Y'all got it twisted where you think you can control some actors and actors and tell them when they go home how they wear their hair. But when I'm on set, I wear it just how you want me to for this character. I'll do it. No problem. But when I'm home and I'm going out or whatever, family, I'm going to do my hair however I feel. And that's where you feel as though you have that sense of control. So it's up to us to take that control back and say, hey, it's my hair. My hair is my choice. My hair is a part of me. So you can't tell me what to do with my hair if I want to have it curly one day and then straight the next. But for that role, you have to do it. But when I'm home, when I'm not taping or whatever, I'm going to do whatever I want to do with my hair. If I want to braid my own hair, braid it up. If I want to cut it, style it, relax it, bleach it, whatever I want to do with it, stack it, it's my choice because it's my hair. But for that role, I'll much gladly do whatever I need to for that role. If you need me to change for that role, I will. If you need me to be a redhead, I'll be a redhead. You want me to have pink hair, I have pink hair. But again, as it pertains to black hair, we got to continue to fight for the culture because, again, we now have the Crown Act and they are trying to stop that. Republicans are out here trying to stop that. They're saying, no, we don't need it when we do need it in the workplace. We do. And especially in the education system as well, too, where they are literally trying to stop our babies from graduating because of their braids or their dreadlocks. They can't play on the football team or the wrestling team because they're dreadlocks. It's hair discrimination. It's texturism at the end of the day. Again, at the end of the day, also, my hair should not define my talent. It should not define my talent. It is a part of me. It's an aesthetic. It's me. Yes, it's what I like. But it can't take away from our talent. It can't take away from the work that we have done. Sitting on these sets, long hours, doing interviews, doing press, up under these lights can be damaging to our actual real hair. So to anybody out here who says, well, why does Beyonce wear wigs? There's your answer. And to anybody else who says, well, we can't do this with our hair, or we can't do this with our hair because in this environment, you go, like Shannon said, go and sit out in that humidity or go jump in a pool full of chlorine and you'll see why black women, we say we don't want to get our hair wet. You'll find out real quick. They'll really make a believer out you. I promise you. So let black women be great. Let us wear our hair however we want it. Let us style it however we want it. Because, like I said, tomorrow I'm not going to have black hair. I can promise you that. Because after this show today, after this girl talk, I'm going to be already plotting for the next look and the next look. I'm a chameleon. You never know what you're going to get with me. Because I've done green, I've done purple, I've done blue, I've done black. I'm wearing black today. I've done red. I've had every color under the sun except orange. So don't be shocked if I pop up on an episode with orange hair. You never know. Listen, I'm a unicorn with about 20 different fangs and mangs, all of this on my coat, honey. You're not going to see just one. You're going to see different colors. So that's the conversation on texturism and hair discrimination. So before we close out Fashion Knows, Shayna, your take. What are your takes
on it? Just learn. Most importantly, learn to have confidence. Once you have that, I feel like there's nothing anyone can say to you to make you feel any less than, because you're going to always encounter those situations, no matter whether it's the entertainment industry, your regular job, just walking down the street. And even if you don't, your children may experience that. It's going to be a never ending thing, that's for sure. So build that self-esteem, love on yourself, and remind yourself about the beauty that is not only on the outside, but within you. And just carry that with you at all times.
Absolutely. And to add on to what Shayna just said, today's final thought comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. She says, when you give joy to other people, you get more joy in return. You should give a good thought to the happiness that you can give out. And you want to know what makes us as Black people, what we need to make us happy is we need to, like Shayna just said, love ourselves and appreciate the Black beauty within. And one more point, I'm going to go back to what Shayna said also about Black women getting our bodies done. There's nothing wrong with it, but embrace the curves. That there's nothing better than a woman who just embraces her curves naturally, looking in the mirror. If you want to get your body done, get your body done, but don't get it done because somebody told you that your body is unattractive or this, that, and the third. That's body image, body shaming. Embrace what God has given you. You are beautiful inside and out, divinely. And I like the name that just came in, Dipped in Chocolate. For women of color, for Black women, for the Black collective, embrace that melanin because we come in so many different shades. The Black collective, it's like a rainbow of chocolate. You get so many different shades. I mean, we're everywhere. Y'all got that? So in order to be happy, embrace what makes you unique. And so the young brown girls that are watching us right now on this platform, watching me and Shayna and saying, hey, if she can do it, I can do it. You can. You can. And it starts with embracing the beauty that you have, that God has given you. So embrace it all of your flaws. If you got freckles, embrace those too. Because your flaws make you fabulous. Remember that. And that is today's final thought, Fashion Dolls. So, Shayna, where can everyone check you out, girl, and check out your projects? And it was always great because I messaged you about coming back on for a girl talk. And I was like, I got to get her back on. And we got to do more and more, girl. So, where can everyone check you out and follow you?
Well, everything's under this page, Shanna J _. So if you follow that and you look in my bio, it links to the web series, it links to my production company, it links to my acting page that's specifically to just my acting stuff. So yeah, this page will take you any and everywhere, my website, all of that. So
there y'all have it. Y'all make sure, she says her production company. Did y'all hear that? Make sure y'all please go and support Black women-owned production companies and business. Because, I mean, of course, we got Issa Rae. We got Gina Prince Blythewood, Ava DuVernay. We need to be supporting more up-and-coming women producers out here. So y'all please go and check out her business and support my girl here. And Shayna, as always, I had a great time.
So did I.
And this needed to be said because I know Black women at home that are in the workplace that are just working, doing their jobs, and then they get let go all because their hair or their skin complexion. They needed to be heard. And I think that we both handled it, and basically we're the voice for them as well too that were at home watching.
Agree.
All right, Fashion Girls. So fellas, again, you two, embrace your melanin, embrace your curl texture too. It's not just about us, the ladies, but fellas, you two at home, because I know men suffer from self-image, body image, skin color, complexion, colorism. I know you guys suffer through it too. So you guys are amazing as well. And to my fellas, thank y'all for viewing, joining in the conversation, and engaging and understanding us as Black women and where we come from. Because you have sisters, you have mothers, you have nieces, daughters, so you understand. Thank you, fellas. Thank y'all, all Fashion Dolls. And joining me tomorrow, we have Dakari Jones closing out this week of interviews, Fashion Dolls, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And Shayna, take care, girl. This was a great one for the books.
Thank you, Stevie.
You too. Take care.
Bye.